It is only the second day of 2025, and we have already had an immense amount of really bizarre things happening. New Orleans, Louisiana, Las Vegas at the Trump Tower. We have Blake Lively claiming all of these horrendous things in a legal complaint, not a lawsuit yet, against Justin Baldoni. Now we have Justin Baldoni suing the New York Times for over $250 million over the Blake Lively story. And we have Meghan Markle trying to make another return back to acting and grifting. Justin Baldoni is firing back after being accused of harassment by his co-star Blake Lively, filing a libel suit against the New York Times on Tuesday, claiming that the newspaper published the article rife with inaccuracies, misrepresentations, and omissions that relied on Lively's self-serving narrative. Lively filed a complaint with the California Civil Rights Department in December, accusing Baldoni of harassment and retaliation. In the bombshell complaint, Lively claimed that she raised concerns of harassment on the set of their film It Ends With Us. Baldoni and his team retaliated against her, leaking unflattering press to try and ruin her professional reputation. Lively's complaint was first reported in the New York Times, which published an article titled "We Can Bury Anyone Inside a Hollywood Smear Machine" on December 21st, 2024. The 4,000-word article contained contents from the Civil Rights Department complaint, which typically remains confidential. In the wake of the New York Times article and Lively's complaint against Baldoni, he was dropped by his talent agency, WME, which also represented Meghan Markle at one point, and that stands for William Morris Endeavor, which also represents Lively and other A-listers of Hollywood. I mean, the most. And her husband, Ryan Reynolds. Lively received swift support across Hollywood SAG-AFTRA, the actors union, which represents over 160,000 writers and actors, releasing a statement in support of her. Sony, the studio behind It Ends With Us, also released a statement standing by Lively. Now Baldoni is alleging that Lively created false harassment accusations so she could take control of the film, then set out on a campaign to reshape her public persona with salacious headlines, grabbing allegations. The New York Times, at Baldoni's expense, Lively's cynical abuse of harassment allegations to assert unilateral control over every aspect of the production was both strategic and manipulative, Baldoni's lawsuit states. Simultaneously, her public image suffered as a result of a series of high-profile blunders, which she tried to deflect by blaming plaintiffs for the public's prying interest into the foibles of an A-list celebrity. This is nothing but an excuse. Fame is a double-edged sword, but Lively's tactics here are unconscionable. The suit claims that the New York Times failed its journalistic integrity to vet Lively's harassment and retaliation allegations, noting that the paper relied almost entirely on Lively's unverified, uncorroborated, and self-serving narrative, lifting it nearly verbatim while disregarding an abundance of evidence that contradicted her claims and exposed her true motives. A spokesperson for the New York Times told CNN the publication plans to vigorously defend against the lawsuit. The role of an independent news organization is to follow the facts where they lead. Danielle Rose, HA spokesperson for the Times, told CNN in a statement Tuesday, "Our story was meticulously and responsibly reported. It was based on a review of thousands of pages of original documents, including the text messages and emails that we quote accurately and at length in the article. To date, Wayfair Studios, Mr. Baldoni, the other subjects of the article, and their representatives have not pointed to a single error. We published their full statement in response to the allegations in the article as well." Attorneys for Lively told CNN in a statement that nothing in this lawsuit changes anything about Lively's claims. While Lively initially filed a complaint against Baldoni and his Wayfair production company with California's Civil Rights Department, attorneys for the actress filed a federal complaint on Tuesday. We look forward to addressing each and every one of Wayfarer's allegations in court, Lively's attorneys said. Baldoni's suit was filed by attorney Brian Friedman in Los Angeles Superior Court on behalf of 10 plaintiffs total, including Baldoni, Wayfarer Studios, his producing partner, Jamie Heath, who was also accused by Lively of harassment, and Baldoni's publicist and crisis manager, Jennifer Abel, and Melissa Nathan. I'm surprised they didn't include her sister, Sarah Nathan, because they were utilizing her being a journalist and her also independently writing sometimes for Page Six to suppress real articles about Blake Lively making a formal complaint to the HR department about these things, which would have lended some credibility to it being true, or at least some credibility to her claims. Lively's complaint included screen captures of text messages and correspondence that Lively's team allegedly showed orchestrated attempts on the part of Baldoni's PR representatives to hurt her reputation in the media as part of a social manipulation campaign. Baldoni's lawsuit contains pages upon pages of text messages that Friedman told CNN are proof that the text messages published in Lively's initial complaint were doctored and manipulated. He alleges in his complaint that the Times intentionally omitted text which dispute Lively's narratives. If the Times truly reviewed of thousands and thousands of private communications it claimed to have obtained, its reports would have been incontrovertible evidence that it was Lively, not plaintiffs, who engaged in a calculated smear campaign, Baldoni's suit states. One of the most egregious claims in Lively's complaint was that Baldoni and Heath entered her makeup trailer unannounced while she was undressed, including when she was breastfeeding her infant. Baldoni's suit offers a rebuttal to the specific claims, showcasing a text that appears to be from Lively to Baldoni that reads, "I'm just pumping in my trailer if you want to work out our lines," meaning that she clearly told him she was pumping her breast milk in her trailer. Come on in if you want to practice lines. CNN has not verified the authenticity of any of the text messages. The text messages where Lively allegedly invites Baldoni into her trailer is marked as being sent in June of 2023. Both sides to effect ensued, with both sides taking jabs at each other, raising questions as to how those private text messages were acquired. A subsequent lawsuit filed by Baldoni's former publicist, Stephanie Jones, alleged that those text messages came from the phone of her former employee, Abel, Baldoni's current publicist, who was among the individuals Lively accused of orchestrating a smear campaign against her. Baldoni, Heath, Abel, Nathan, and Wayfarer all denied Lively's original claims and asserted Lively was the one leaking negative press about Baldoni. These claims are completely false, outrageous, and intentionally salacious, with an intent to publicly hurt and rehash narrative in the media, Friedman said in a statement to CNN when Lively's complaint was first filed. On Tuesday, Friedman told CNN that Lively, her team, and the New York Times engaged in a vicious smear campaign. In doing so, Friedman said they predetermined the outcome of their story and aided and embedded their own devastating PR smear campaign designed to revitalize Lively's self-induced, floundering public image and counter the organic groundswell of criticism amongst the online public. The irony is rich. While their side embraces partial truths, we embrace the full truth, Friedman added, and we have all the communications in full to back it. Oh boy, this is getting absolutely nuts. There's one legal complaint filed, a federal legal complaint filed, a lawsuit filed, another $250 million lawsuit filed. It doesn't look like this is ending. It looks like it's going to end in court. That's what. Or it's, yeah, this has been one heck of a roller coaster ride. I cannot imagine any of this being good for anybody other than all the attorneys who are making hundreds of thousands of dollars off of their time and all of this paper filing that they have been doing lately. So really, they're the only ones that are going to be winning when it comes to the end of all of this. So there's no irony that the books are entitled "It Ends With Us" and "It Starts With Us," because this is starting, but it's going to end in court. It's going to end bad. Don't even know if there's even going to be the second sequel, "It Starts With Us" made. We'll have to wait and see.